And now for something completely different. I have a job, and my job is to get bankers to kind of think differently. So what I'm going to do for you today is to get you to unlearn some of your preconceived notions about banking. We have to understand that banks provide something that no other industry provides in this world: social, financial cohesion. We're the glue that holds society together. If I've got 5 automakers and one of them puts out a bad product, you don't buy that car, that company goes out of business and you lose some jobs. When banks put out bad products, people panic. We're the glue that holds society together. So we have a unique position in the world, and we have to remember that as bankers. Now, when you talk to bankers, I love talking to bankers. What I hear is, what are your strategies? And they're all focused on top-line growth. That's our strategy. We're customer-focused and top-line growth. But if you really look at what bankers do, we kind of get people to think we're customer-focused, but in reality, we're cost-conscious. All of our incentive programs are on saving money, saving money, saving money. And I get a lot of strategies that banks send me, and I look for the magic words: cost savings. Cost savings is not a strategy. It's a tactic. Top-line growth is the only strategy you can possibly have, simply because we can never get our cost to go to zero. So no matter how hard we work, we can never get it to go to zero. So cost savings is not a strategy. It is a tactic. Our focus has to be on achieving top-line growth. Have you ever seen the movie Mary Poppins? Ever seen Walt Disney movie, 1960-something, right? Mary Poppins. There's a great scene in there where the little boy gives the banker tuppence. And the bankers, the board of directors, all breaks out into song, like when I make a deposit at Barclays or HSBC. Same thing happens, But if you listen to the words of the song, here's what they're saying. With this deposit, you become part of railways through Africa, dams across the Nile, fleets of ocean greyhounds, plantations of ripening tea. In the banking model of 1910, you gave your money to a banker, and he used, no women were bankers then, sorry, he used his knowledge of the world of financial services to get you the best possible return for your money, which was interest in your account. Now, 100 years later, what happens? You go to a bank. Every time you turn around, there's some kind of fee that you've got to pay. You've got to figure out what accounts to put money into, how to invest, and all that. So from a customer's perspective, over the course of the last 100 years, bankers have become lazy, and then we get paid for it. It's simple. That's how customers are thinking. So what we have to do is rebuild the trust in financial services, and we've got to get close to these customers to really understand what they're thinking. So what we really have to manage are a couple of gaps. We have to manage the gap in our service, the gap in our cost, and more importantly, the gap in customer expectation. Customer expectations are rising, and our ability to provide those services needs to rise in the same speed. That if you look at the value proposition of a bank, customers come to us for 3 reasons. But if you look at our value proposition, right now as bankers, we are under siege on our value proposition. We are suffering death by 1,000 cuts. We've got new competitors coming into the marketplace who can offer some level of financial services without having to have a banking license. So every time we turn around, there's someone else kind of nibbling away at our value proposition. And we need to really pay attention to that, because the nature of how we compete in the marketplace is drastically changing. We need to look at every aspect of our value proposition and find out, how do we create demonstrated value to the customer? Because when customers see value, they pay for it. If they see no value, they won't pay for it. In fact, they question our fees, they question our service. And our job is to go from a value proposition that looks like that to something far more complicated. Now, complicated doesn't mean better. Complicated means we need to be paying attention to more things as the level of competition rises across the industry. So hopefully, during the time we've had together this morning, I've taken you through at least the 4 domains of knowledge. I've shared with you something you probably already knew, something that you thought you knew but perhaps didn't know the latest thing, some things that you don't know, and hopefully we spent a few moments this morning in the area of things you didn't know. Thank you.